Hello, you're watching News.Markets. The mining sector might be depressed, but investors are finding sparkle in coloured gemstones, rubies, emeralds, amethysts. The market for coloured gemstones is estimated at $4 billion, which sounds huge until you learn that the diamond market is worth 7 times that. But both emerald and ruby prices have moved up for high-value stones in the past 10 years, with the same demand dynamics as higher quality diamonds. And that good demand for coloured gemstones has helped Gemfields, the world's largest coloured gems company. They hit another revenue record. And Gemfields CEO Ian Hairbottle joins me now. Thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
Tell me a little bit more about the gemstones market. Is it like diamonds when investors buy them up as to hedge tricky financial markets?
It's a bit of both. So if you think gemstones are probably the first luxury good known to man. So right up until Kimberley, so it's 100 years ago, they were the preeminent position. It's only in the last few years diamonds, watches, handbags have taken over, but there's still a massive opportunity for coloured stones to claw their way back.
You said it's an opportunity, but are investors seeing these coloured gemstones in the same way as diamonds and hoarding them?
Well, the answer is yes. I never like people just to hoard because the investment side is fine, but what about all the lovely young ladies in the street? We want them to wear them, we want them to enjoy them. I always say the great thing with a gemstone, you can invest in shares, but it just sits in your safe. Gems, you've got a great investment and you can show them off every day and feel special. So there's a whole range, but the real answer for that, I think, comes with your auction houses, Bonhams, Sotheby's, etc. have all said they have seen the biggest growth in terms of purchasing power and interest in coloured stones in the last year than anything else. So that's great.
Can that run, though, that run of higher prices, can it last?
Well, absolutely. I mean, your introduction gave the example for that, is that right now coloured stone sector is about 5 million, which is about 11% of the gemstone sector, which is a small component of luxury. Last year it was only 5. So in the last year we've gone from 5% of the gemstone market to 11%. That's a nice growth. And yet, when you take emeralds, rubies and sapphire, we're a fraction of the total market. Diamonds are way ahead. And the big difference lies in the fact that De Beers did an active marketing campaign. Diamonds are forever, diamonds are a girl's best friend, and they're lovely, they're beautiful diamonds. But no one was doing anything for colour. And that's where Gemfields comes in. One, we're driving demand through education, communication, and more importantly, we're actually ensuring their supply. Coloured gems are far rarer than diamonds, but they've been so rare that you couldn't actually do economies of scale and you couldn't support marketing. And Gemfields is fixing that. And I think the market is doing that. I always say, you know, once you've had a colour TV, you'll never go back to black and white. And I think the same is true with gems.
But do you think with gems, you think of yourself as a miner, or are you a luxury goods company?
Well, it's an interesting one. We often get asked, are you a miner or a marketer? And the honest truth is a bit of both. We wouldn't be able to, let me just go back this way. In our emerald mine, we've doubled the actual number of carats produced. We've halved our per carat production costs, and we've 12-fold increased the price per carat. So you'd think that it's maybe all on the marketing side, but you can't do the marketing without the supply. You have to have both, and that's why we're very much a mining and marketing company. The two have to go hand in hand.
So you're very much focused on the supply, but you're also focused on the marketing too. You've bought Fabergé. Now, they haven't been doing too well, but that brand name comes with a cachet, doesn't it? There's an association. How important is it in this field, in the sector, not just for Gemfields specifically, to have that brand awareness?
Well, it's very important. And again, you must remember everything's relative. So a little while ago, a company called Bulgari, a number of years ago, they were the ultimate coloured stones retailer in the world. They were struggling. Just recently, LVMH has bought them. So the biggest handbag producer saw an opportunity to really drive demand for coloured stones. Chanel, or Cartier, I should say, there were many years, not that long ago, that Cartier was struggling. Now it's doing very well. So Fabergé, it's all about relative. We believe Fabergé is making a significant difference in our business. As a standalone, it's not profitable yet, but neither is my Colombian mine. It's going to take a little bit of investment before that generates significant revenue. Same in Mozambique, and same with Fabergé. When you do the right investment in the right way, it generates significant revenues, but in the long term. And Gemfields prefers to focus long term rather than short term.
Now, of course, anyone could go out on the high street and buy themselves a nice ruby ring or an amethyst bracelet. Where's the opportunity, though, for investors to get into this market, to start making money?
Well, again, so I always say from an investment point of view, first of all, buy it because you love it. Because if you love it and you want to showcase it, you've already got an investment. The fact that you feel good about yourself and you've just spoiled somebody else, that's a return immediately. Then the next thing is long term. If you want to buy today, sell tomorrow, it's like doing the same with houses or shares. You should really be an expert and a specialist, and you don't want to buy straight at retail because there's a retail margin and there's VAT, etc. So there are specialists who do those kind of things. But I think if you hold your gems long enough, every single one is showing an increase, every one. So somebody who's buying a $100 ring in a couple of years could sell it at a $300, and somebody who's buying a $50 million could sell it at a couple of $100 million maybe. But there's investment at each of those levels. I always say, sorry, the best stone is the one that's perfect for you.
I like the sound of that, and I hope my admirers and my husband are watching. Ian Hairbottle, thanks ever so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.